Welcome everyone. Today we'll talk about facility management in this particular video. So as a facility manager, the most important work is to look after the requirement of the customers and the employee thereby. So facility managers must report to numerous stakeholders. Apart from the satisfaction of the customers and well-being of the employers, they should manage the politician and the independent parties. When I say independent parties, we are talking about vendors per se. Managing sports, public assembly facilities is often referred as a facility management, and people who actually perform such duties and tasks are called facility manager per se. The arts and science of managing a facility to help meet a facility location objective is what the facility manager's objectives, goals, and missions should be all about it. Remember, it is getting the things done, ensuring the fact that the facility is working optimally. There are no issues as far as the operations are concerned. That is what facility management is all about. It facility management does not mean only the cleanliness, only about plumbing, only about electricity. It is complete thing that runs that system, runs that organization, perhaps maybe of transport, perhaps maybe of certain equipment which might go under breakdowns or something like that. Everything comes under the encompasses of the facility manager. So facility management entails a broad array of discipline, which might not be including to and not be limited to just planning or perhaps designing. People see, even when facility has just been in the design stage, it is not still there. Everything should be taken a note of it. We're talking about leasing of facility management, leasing of property that comes around it, everything that has been leased around it. Perhaps it might be the rental place. Perhaps we have just leased certain equipments. Perhaps it is just the temporary workers that we are looking for it, working for it, and that is how we come across altogether. So, facility manage also include optimum utilization of space. Whatever space has been allocated, can we utilize it in the best possible fashion so that it becomes productive? Every inch of a space becomes productive. Facility management is part and parcel of the project management. Remember, project management has a definite start time and a definite finish time, but facility management is something which goes on beyond the project durations, before the project duration, during the project duration. So facility management is as an ongoing process. We're talking about capital management in terms of money that has been blocked, capital management in terms of the workex, the working expenses, the capex, the capital expenditures that needs to be taken care of. It should pass through the facility management managers know-how. We are talking about construction management. Definitely, yes, the quality of construction needs to be planned around, the quality needs to be adhered to, and once stated around it, facility management encompasses not only the construction but also the property management by there. Yes, once everything has been settled around here, did I say that facility management is an ongoing process? So yes, the process, the smooth operation of the facility, be it a firm, be it a warehouse, be it a building, be it an office, there should be a smooth operation which should carry it up upon it. And that is the importance of building and operation management with respect to facility management. So let us begin with the planning purpose, right? So what is facility management? A significant focus of facility management is to make sure that an existing facility runs smoothly and safely for its intended purpose. Remember, the purpose needs to be clarified and it should adhere to the purpose only. We cannot plan for a facility and utilize it for a different purpose altogether. So, for example, a parking lot should be used only for parking lot. The bleachers should be there. The walkways should not be blocked. It should be free flow of traffic and goods. Elevators and escalators should be working smoothly. Facility management entails every aspect of making a building and is operating effectively in terms of safety, in terms of revenues, productions, tenant satisfaction, and preventive mechanism thereby. Now, these are things that needs to be taken care of every now and then. The manager, the facility manager, is the person responsible for coordinating every employees, for coordinating every activities. Remember, that is involved within the facility to ensure that the work that they work on behalf of the facility and helps to meet its short and probably the long-term objectives and goals thereof. In a small facility, the facility manager or becomes the facility owners and vice versa, and they are responsible for opening and closing of the facilities as well, probably of painting, probably of walls, probably of cleaning, probably of housekeeping, probably of plumbing, probably of electricity, you name it. A small facility, the owner slash the facility manager does everything and it comes under their purview. Because of this, for a large facility on the other hand, it might have several full or part-time employees, several hundred, if I may say so. So handling everything from cleanup crews to usher the tickets takers becomes a bit of an ask, right? Because of our diverse duties, each facility manager faces facility management and can be considered both as an art and probably as a science. So it's the balancing act that the facility managers actually enact upon it, and probably he or she comes out in flying colors if there are no incidences, untoward incidences. I'm talking about it. So the responsibilities of facility manager. Let me give a brief preview to it. According to the International Facility Management Association, IFMA, facility managers are critical elements to implement any facility management plans, and they need to understand, appreciate several distinct functional, including planning for both long-term and short-term objectives, for financial forecasting, property acquisitions and disposal, specifying work responsibility and space utilization, architectural and engineering planning and management, managing every phases of construction and probably renovation work, also managing the maintenance system and the protocol, managing all operation for administrative functions to security protocol. Thereby, let us talk about the management of and the organization, planning all facility activities as on when on basis. And there might be a one-off event that can across. Let's say there is an annual day, or an open house being celebrated or being distinguished. So these are one-off events for which the facility manager has the complete responsibility that the incident goes error free. Organizing every personnel in appropriate department that optimizes effectiveness, develop short, intermediate, and short term plans, develop an inventory of available space and manage that space, have a strong appreciation and understanding of building design, planning, architectural design, engineering design, coding, and zoning compliances. Now, there might be compliance issues as far as the federal government or the provincial governments are concerned. So, these compliances are the responsibilities of the facility manager. Managing furniture equipment such as areas like concessions, locker rooms, and press box comes under the responsibility of facility manager. Now, of significant effort shifts to budgeting, probably of accounting and economic forecasting. This is where people should be flexing their acumen, probably their skills, their experiences thereby. Managing construction project or moving one area of facility to another area is a huge ask, and probably it entails detailed planning altogether. Spend significant time of operation and the maintenance work that comes around it. And come what may, the modern perils of life is all about terrorism. The glorifying example was 9/11. The glorifying example of any terrorist activity that might be detrimental to the organizations, to the facility. So deal with security and the life safety concern. Supervises general administrative department thereby. So when surveyed, facility managers have highlighted that maintenance, in fact, absorb the greatest amount of their time, approximately 17 odd percent, followed by space management. It's an optimal utilization of space that we are talking about it. For example, there might be one single or two or three facility meeting rooms, and this meeting room everybody wants to have an attention to it. They might want to entertain their vendors, their clients. There might be friends or families tripping in, and then there are internal meetings within the offices or the organization for which the meeting room needs to be booked in advance. So probably that is what the space management occurs around it. Yes, interior design, budgeting, and forecasting also occupies the bulk of their time. Let us understand the constituents. Constituents are the customers. We are talking about the promoters. We are talking about the tenants. We are talking about the ticket buyers. But ticket buyers are essentially the customers that I'm talking about it, and attending the event. Make sure that the people can attend events within the facility in a safe and a secure fashion. Talking about the internal constituents, now internal constituents are the boards or the owners, employees, and the co-workers interested in the facility, mission, and meets its goals altogether, motivating and decision making style as on when on basis. Now, the external constitutes, now we have been talking about the external constitute, we have spoken about the internal constitute, we have spoken about the interested constitute. The external are the person who are actually financing the goals around it. Let's say the bankers, we are talking about the executive, the politician, the media, and other influences that facility that comes around. So that is what external constitutes would be looking into it. The facility managers must reach beyond the facility to those who can exert influence on the facilities. Absolutely, yes. The politician can exert an influence, the media can exert an influence, and these are external constituents. Look at the managerial functions of planning. As far as the strategic planning is concerned, this is a long-term goal that we are looking into it, are designed to help achieve the highest level of goals objective for facility. That is why they are often called the master plan. Remember, strategic plans are always master plan, are always a long-term oriented. Let us look at operational plans. Operational plan are short-term plan. They are much more detailed and I help to carry out strategic plan. Operational plans are basically milestone to achieve your overall objective of the strategic goals. Operational plan can include single-use operational plans. That may apply to any one-time event per se. Then comes the functional plan. Focuses on the operational plans are designed to accomplish the marketing plan, for example, the safety plan, for example, the financing plans, for example, and these are functional plan, essentially functional plan. And then we have something called contingency plan, are plans that can be used if one or the other plan fails. So you have the alternative plan. You're talking about the backup plan that the facility should always have. Let's say in terms of any mishaps, there has to be an exit, and we have an exit which is a regular exit, and then we have the emergency exit or the fire exit as it we call as an alternative plan. So managerial function, let us talk about the goals and objective. Goals are specific directives and objective focuses on how to reach their goals. So goals have specific objectives and specific directives, as this is the goals, the smart, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound goals that we're talking about it. Objectives are the milestone that will help you attain and achieve the goals thereby. Remember, strategic goals are all set by the highest level managers and are introduced to affect and empower the overall facility for a longest period of run. Often focuses on a broader aspects such as market share, profitability, industry leaders, position, or changes in the facility as the case might be. Now, this is what is strategic plan is all about it. Now, let us go to the tactical goals. Are often introduced by mid-level managers and focuses on what needs to be accomplished to reach the strategic goals. Yes, we are talking about the tactical goals thereby. Then we come to the operational goals. Remember, operational goals are low set level managers and are more often short term in nature. Now, this is what we are looking as far as day-to-day operations are concerned. Now, let us come with MBO or management by objective. Managers and employees can work together to develop realistic and achievable objective that makes every party happy. That is what management by objective is concerned. Managerial function, now we have spoken about everything. Let us look after the short-term planning and a long-term planning. Short-term planning typically covers less than 365 days and focuses on activities that sense with a sense of an emergency, as in firefighting skills that goes around it. Anything beyond 365 days is to be termed as a long-term planning, which can be more influenced by political, geographical, and economical trends per se. Now let us understand business plan. What is a business plan? For example, we can examine the product, marketing, legal, financial, and the general business outlook of the facility. So what business are we into it? What is the cyclical terms of the business that comes around it? What kind of financial option that comes with it? What are the customer preferences? Are they changing over a period of time? The roadmap for any facility that helps identify the product and the market, as well as the legal and the financial outlook as such. Now let us look at the capacity planning for the load. If you have a facility, will it manage the capacity that has been assigned to it. So building load capacity is how much of weight the roof or rigging can support. Current economic condition is demographic breakdowns of an expected fans. Organization Organizing would refer to a blend of HRM, blend of leadership, blend of employees. Let's say regular employees, we can have ad hoc employees, can have contractual employees, and the leadership, the manager, the person who is at the top, and what kind of vision he or what kind of opinions or relationship he or she builds with the team that goes around it. One of the most difficult task for the manager is to assign the right person with the right skill and interest to a particular job. Yes, let us look into the organization flowchart. And if you look into it, the facility owners manages not only the operation but also the professional services and the marketing thereby. So flowchart shows who is reporting to whom, what are the managerial supervisory responsibility thereby. Let us talk about implementations of the managerial task. Refers to execution of the goals, the objectives that needs to be achieved with an appropriate personnel. Talking about controlling involves the evaluation of the result for the individual who reports to the managers and providing appropriate feedback, whether be it positive or be it negative, as the case might be. Now comes on the space allocation or space planning. Developing an inventory of available space, as in which can be utilized as a meeting room, which can be utilized as a storeroom, which can be utilized as a conference room or a boardroom, which can be cubicles or offices for the senior managers, the executives, and so on and so forth. So allocating available space, managing the space prudently, forecasting and possible future demand for the space that comes across this. Architectural, engineering, planning, and design. All facets of building design and planning is a must, should be there at the disposal of the facility managers. Architectural design of building, engineering design of building system, estimating construction cost, planning future maintenance needs, planning for disaster that might befall on the facility, procuring all necessary codes, zoning compliances, documents all phases of design and estimating process, planning for renovations and future constructions project that is there. Now let us come with workforce planning or employee allocations and the management thereby. Workflows planning and design, furnitures, equipments, furnishing specification, acquisitions, and management needs to be in the right places. Analyzing maintenance needs and establishing appropriate maintenance program. This is what should be the call of the day. Planning, concession, locker room, press box, and related areas, art, memorabilia, acquisition and management should be well placed. Now, looking at the accounting purpose, the budgeting purpose, or the forecasting for the economics of the organization, budgeting both for long-term and short-term basis, developing and implementing capital-intensive budget, administrative budget, operation budget, maintenance budget, and so on and so forth, comes under the purview of the facility managers. Implementing according to appropriate accounting and expenses tracking system, ensuring economic justification are accurate, and making every and necessary changes that is required. Let us visit the real estate acquisition, the management and the disposal, the site selection, the evaluation, the acquisition. We are talking about facility purchasing, facility leasing. Should we actually go on for leasing, or should we outrightly purchase the facility altogether? What makes sense and how does it goes about it? It depends upon the volume of the business. It depends upon the profitability of the business, the facility or the land sale per se. Now, once we have acquired the land, now do we go to renovate the existing building or we build from the scratch? So interview and hiring the right professional, construction and trade personnel, total projects, construction, procurement management, preparation of a as in built-in documentation per se. We talk about alterations. Let's say the building is existing and now we are looking for alteration or we are looking for renovation of the workplace installation. So what are the alteration that needs to be done? What are the renovation that has to be incorporated? Installing furnitures, data communication, wiring, voice communication, wiring, security related wiring and equipment, customizing and final touches, roof management. We talk about operation, maintenance and repairs. How do we come across with it? Exterior maintenance of the building envelopes, let's say shell, roof, and windows, implementing various maintenance systems such as preventive, breakdown, cyclical, grounds, road, and custodial maintenance, pest and rodent control, crowd management and ticketing disputes, trash and recycling disposal, hazardous chemical, asbestos, air qualities, PCBs, etc., etc. The management of this, the air quality altogether, and the disposal of the waste or hazardous chemical. OSHA compliance and the facility safety. OSHA refers to occupational safety and hazard analysis. Energy management to reduce cost, inventory management, procurement, repair of system component, disaster recovery and prevention thereby. Telecommunication and other technology management, maintaining wiring and equipment, providing appropriate ventilation security for computer rooms, network management and documentation thereby. Let us look into the security and the line safety management. This is very important in terms of facility managers. Why? Because there might be mishap, there might be certain accidents which are just waiting to happen. So ensuring code compliance on a continuous basis, operating the facility in a much more safe and secure fashion, crime prevention through environmental changes or environmental design, preparing and for disaster with mock drills, developing and implementing safety policies, safety procedures, safety guidelines. The general administrative service would be including having a canteen, cafeteria facility for the employees, in fact, for the guest, in fact, for the external person, whoever wants to avail it. The food service, we are talking about it. We might be having some kind of business facility extension, for example, the photocopying machines, the mails, the fax. Transportation, vehicle fleet maintenance comes under the purview of the facility managers. It's exclusively on-site gym, daycare management. If you have a crash within the facility, within the organization, you should maintain such thing. Remember, gym, daycare management, or crash, they might not be very much contributing towards the productivity or profitability of the company, but it adds up to the morale of the employees thereby. We have this particular term called CAFM, that is computer aided facility management, has grown off late with the advent of CCTV, that is closed circuit television cameras that we are talking about it. We are with the advent of so many of biometric modes of access to a facility per se. The technology platform helps a facility manager run a facility in a much more smoother fashion. There are basically six primary areas we can talk about computer aided facility management in terms of space and asset management, in terms of CAD or computer aided design, capital planning, facility condition assessment, maintenance and operations, real estate and property management, support technologies. In fact, computer aided design will always intimate or give you a warning sign if there are any malicious activities of malicious things happening in a system, within the system per se. So we'll talk about space and asset management. Space and asset management essentially focuses on the occupancy information, space planning, asset purchasing, maintaining and tracking, and move management. Space planning can be examined the future growth needs of a facility to help determine how much additional space might be required. Let's say if a current occupant utilizes 100 square feet per employee and there are 100 employees, so basically the utilization phase facility space would be 10,000 square feet, because 100 into 100 becomes 10,000 square feet. But if the workforce is anticipated to grow by 10% every year, or let's say, and how do we go across with this? Document will be required approximately 11,000 square feet to house for the current employees and anticipate another 10 additional people. Now, this is where CFM comes around. Computer aided facility management program can help you understand what can be done of the current flow space, determine if the additional space is available or not, where to mostly and should I say effectively and efficiently place the new employees thereby. Computer aided design is used to design flow plan for the facility, optimize the flow and function. Through examining the flow plans and redesigning the workspace, a business can become much more productive on the same basic location. For example, an inventory can be moved to a more accessible location. It could save an employee time and potential for the wear and tear of the facility thereby. The capital planning and the facility condition assessment component tracks the current condition of the facility and associated equipment to improve the facility operation, maintenance, and management. This component of life cycle costing plan for any needed maintenance and minor repairs. Remember, we have coined the term called AMCs, or annual maintenance contract, that keeps on happening. If we can avail that AMC for each and every equipment that is on the premises, and make sure that we follow the blue book or the pedagogy that have been mentioned around here, the right way to assess and go for regular maintenance, or should I say preventive maintenance, which will actually extend the life of the equipment and probably will aid to the profitability and productivity of the company thereby. Computer aided design will also tell me whether it needs to be replaced or not, and what will be the cost which can be budgeted for. Let us take to the last particular thing that I wanted to share it with you, is the maintenance and operation component of CFM, or the computer aided facility management. We are talking about computer maintenance management system. If things will be tracked for each component of the facility that needs to be fixed, that needs to be maintained, that needs to be looked after. For effective utilization of maintenance personnel, information gathered through this process can be incorporated into a spreadsheet to highlight any efficiency or cost overrun. With this, I come to an end of this particular video. I hope everything related to a facility management operations has been very much lucidly spoken to, and all the key points have been addressed. Thank you once again for watching this video.